Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, Rachel Zegler is probably taking the #1 spot as the most insufferable person in Hollywood out there. And that's saying something. There's quite a long list of insufferable people coming out of Hollywood out there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had the meltdowns that obviously we had so many glorious meltdowns last week over the election. And Hollywood, of course, completely and totally finding out that they are completely and totally irrelevant, that their opinions don't actually matter. They do not have the influence that they thought they did. And it just caused nothing more than shockwave after shockwave of all the meltdowns. Well, one of the meltdowns that we missed over there, boys and girls, is none other than Disney's Snow White actress, Rachel Zegler herself. Yes, Rachel Zegler is out there going on an unhinged rant on her Instagram over there, completely and totally lambasting over half of the country. And boys and girls, further damaging any chances the remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs had any chance of making a profit at the box office. We already know this movie is behind the ball behind the 8 ball on this one. They have spent almost $500 million on this movie, all to have it blown up in their faces by one stupid little girl out there who runs her mouth because she has been brainwashed by all of the crazy legacy media out there and the bubble, the literal echo chamber that she has been living in her entire life. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a glorious meltdown that is hilarious and shows you just how much of a vile, evil, and nasty person this woman is. And she deserves to be shamed, mocked, and ridiculed for it, ladies and gentlemen. And that's exactly what we're going to do right here. So we're going to check this article from thatparkplace.com, getting all of the juicy details. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Who do you think is more insufferable, Rachel Zegler or Brie Larson? Is there somebody out there in Hollywood you think is more insufferable than Rachel Zegler? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description down there as well. So from thatparkplace.com and our dear sweet Montanero, Disney Snow White actress Rachel Zegler causes controversy, that's a nice way of putting it, with unhinged social media election tantrum. Hopes Trump supporters never know peace. And this is the kind of language that we have heard time and time again, boys and girls. There's a famous clip out there of a Democratic politician going out there and saying, you need to go there. You need to find them at their homes where they eat, and you need to make them know that they will never find peace, and yada, yada, yada. Literally telling her supporters and her voters to go after people who disagreed with them politically. Wow. It almost sounds like they're all preaching from the same playbook. Weird how that works. I know. Another day, another Rachel Zegler controversy. Disney's Snow White actress launched into an unhinged social media meltdown, flying off the handle in the wake of the presidential-elect Donald Trump's victory over Vice President Kamala Harris. Zegler apparently posted parts of the long tirade, maligning and appearing to wish harm or misfortune on the incoming president and the 75.5 million plus Americans who voted for him to her Instagram account during the intermission of Romeo and Juliet, the Broadway show she's currently starring in. Literally, ladies and gentlemen, this girl is working, and on her break, while she is working, she thought that was the best time to have an absolute unhinged rant over there on Instagram to get it posted to the entire world. And shout out to our dear sweet, my nerdy home, Steph herself, who found all of this and posted it on social media for you. Steph says, Rachel Zegler, who I got to meet in San Antonio and Vegas. Steph's a wonderful lady. Absolutely love her. My Nerdy Home is great. If you haven't already, go follow her on X and subscribe to her channel. She does great things over there. Very nice lady. Rachel Zegler hopes Trump supporters never know peace. Tells her followers to get off X because Elon Musk supported Trump, and ends with, fuck Donald Trump. Oh, yeah, just so edgy, so edgy. This is Disney's Snow White. By the way, she probably won't face any consequences for posting this by Disney due to their unfair double standards. And like we said before, if Hollywood didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards at all. And that is especially true with Disney as well, because hell, they shrink black characters on posters in Star Wars just to capitulate to Chinese censors. So yeah. So here we go. Rachel Zegler, boys and girls, Rachel Zegler and her unhinged rant. I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Zegler says before launching into a very lengthy speech on a social media platform, which is obviously the irony, of course, is completely and totally lost on her. Another 4 years of hatred leading us toward, and honestly, that's one of those situations where that just shows you her words. It's just a phrase she's using. She doesn't actually understand the words that are coming out of her mouth, or in this case, her fingers. It's just a phrase she's using. Another 4 years of hatred leading us towards a world that I do not want to live in. I mean, what were you, 12 the last time Donald J. Trump was president? I mean, it's been basically 8 years since his last, it's been over 8 years since his last election. So literally, yeah. Okay, little girl. Okay. I'm sure you were so very hyper aware of all the evil things that Donald Trump did during his first legacy years out there while you were still in middle school? Yeah, and if you were very well aware of it, it's a shame on your parents, because parents should be protecting their children from politics, not influencing them and trying to use them as some kind of talking point out there, which obviously we've seen a lot of you psychopaths do. The cult will sacrifice anything, including their own children, on the altar to woke. Another 4 years of hatred, leading us towards a world I do not want to live in, leading us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in. What daughter? You don't have any kids. It'll be a miracle if you can even find somebody that can actually put up with you for longer than the time it takes to impregnate you. Leading us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want to. Oh, yes, my rights to murder my children in their womb are so important. Bitch, you live in California. That shit ain't never gonna change. Fuck off with this talking point. Leading us towards a world that is fearful. It should be noted that Rachel Zegler is not a mother, and this daughter she spoke of in her rant is purely hypothetical. I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I'm heartbroken for my friends who awoke to fear this morning. Who awoke fear this morning. I mean, she probably means woke. Well, once again, she doesn't know how to even double spell check any of her stuff there. Who awoke fear this morning, and I'm here for you. To cry, to tell you, to hug. Oh, well, at least Mark Ruffalo will have some company. To wax poetic on how the left continues to fail us and forging a new path forward. Oh, yeah, to wax so poetically that you can't get your grammar proper so your sentence structure actually makes sense. Okay. This loss should not have been, and it certainly should not have been by so many votes. Yes, you woke up and found out that the majority of the population out there didn't agree with your woke-ass identity politics in any way, shape, or form. How's that for a smack to poke your bubble and completely and totally destroy your echo chamber that you live in? Zegler then goes on to apparently wish harm and or hardship upon incoming president and those 75.5 million Americans who voted for him. I echo Etienne Kane's statement more than anything. May Trump supporters and Trump himself never know peace. Oh, so you want the leader of the free world to fail just because you're upset he doesn't agree with your politics and all of the disastrous dumpster fires that would come after that, affecting absolutely every single person on the planet. So, yeah, your spiteful, childish rage is nothing more than that and is ridiculous by any common sense person out there, any common nerd taking a half of a glimpse of a look at it out there. The Hollywood actress who has yet to appear in a successful film that describes which she refers to as a deep, deep sickness in this country over the overwhelming amount of people who showed up to vote for President-elect Donald Trump, calling him a threat to democracy. Yes, their democracy, which all that means is their power, boys and girls, their control over the system, not any actual, which, by the way, America isn't a democracy. We're a republic, so they should really look into their history books, but of course they don't want to know the truth. They just want to go on with their talking points now, don't they? It is a foolish subscription to a false sense of security, of masculinity, of intelligence, of patriotism, and humanity. Essentially chalking up Trump's win to who she feels are insecure, stupid American men. Oh, color us shocked there. Oh, it's all our fault. Oh, the patriarchy. Well, hey, guess what? The majority of people agree with that patriarchy that you just can't stand. It should be noted that for clarity's sake, Trump won 46% of the female votes. So, yeah, I'm sure all 46% of those women are just completely and totally controlled by their husbands, completely and totally and subservient to them in every way, shape, or form, and would never do anything that disagrees with their husband and couldn't possibly think for themselves in any way, shape, or form. Boy, how much does she think about all of the rest of you women out there that also voted for Trump? There is no help. There is no counsel in any of them. Zegler continued to malign how fellow Americans disagree with her politically. I could go on, but I won't. She then goes on. Zegler's attack moved from American voters to ex-owner and the world's richest man, Elon Musk. Oh, that's right. Back when he was making electric cars, Elon was the champion of the left. But as soon as he called them out for being absolute insane psychopaths, all of a sudden now he's the villain. Just like how Donald Trump used to be the hero in Hollywood. Rappers used to write songs about him, but as soon as he decided to run as a Republican, oh my God, he became enemy number one. Now didn't he? Get off Elon's app, by the way. The fuck are you doing? They're eating you up on Twitter. Yeah, you actually have a level playing field now where they're pushing back against all of you. So yes, go ahead. Further retreat to your echo chamber. That really worked out so well for you over the last decade now, didn't it? I don't use the app for a reason. He helped get that man elected, and you're giving him business. Yes, he did, and God, isn't it glorious? Thank the Lord for Elon Musk. May he live long and prosper forever. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. It was announced yesterday that Musk, along with Vivek Ramaswamy, will heading up the undetermined mission of the new Department of Government Efficiency. Yes, Doge, boys and girls. An organization that will work to dismantle excesses, regulations, and reduce frivolous spending in D.C. I cannot wait to see what kind of work they do. Zegler didn't seem all too impressed by that, though. She wasn't done yet. Like she said she could go on. She said she was ending this, and yet she's still going on. Okay, that's all. Going on stage for Act 2 now. I need to get off my soapbox before I get too heated. Ending her diatribe with "Fuck Donald Trump." Oh, yes, boys and girls. Oh, yes. She was so affected by finding out that her worldview, the echo chamber, the bubble that she had been raised in, where everyone around her agreed and said the exact same thing. They were nothing more than parrots that spoke all of the ridiculous talking points and all of the ridiculous nonsense that came from the woke cult out there. And now Rachel Zegler and the majority of Hollywood and so many tens of millions of people around the world are finding out now. Guess what? Woke don't sell. It doesn't work in the box office. It doesn't work in the television shows, and it doesn't work in the video games. And now we have proven it doesn't work in politics. So please, Rachel Zegler, I hope you were shaking and terrified and in such a bad mood that your performance was an absolute abysmal one on your second act, because your performances and everything else have been abysmal as well. You haven't got a single successful movie under your belt. And now with this Unhinged Rant getting made known to the public and more Disney fans out there, you have once again laid another nail in the coffin for the live action Disney adaptation Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And if we didn't think it was going to bomb bad already, well, this is only going to make it worse. And guess what, Disney? You bet on the woke horse. You found out it lost, and now you've let this little psychopath completely and totally make sure that you wasted over almost $500 million on a movie that will flop disastrously at the box office. And guess what, boys and girls? It's all Rachel Zegler's fault. And Disney, you did it to yourself.